Hi everyone, and welcome to your pre-recorded video in place of our Touch Base Thursday Facebook Live that I would normally do with you on Thursday, July 22nd. And so tonight you're going to be getting this pre-recorded video, and I'm going to be showcasing for you the All Squared Away bundle. So you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of some of my projects that I am going to be sharing with you. And I can't wait to talk to you first though about this amazing bundle. So again, I know this may not be the same as being live with you all in person, and I prefer that, but this is the next best thing, right? Now, any of you that comment on my video from tonight until Sunday night will get entered into a drawing for some special prizes. I'm calling it my special surprise prizes. And I have a couple of things that I'll be giving away. Instead of just one thing, I've got a couple of things. So, make sure that you comment and let me know if you liked my pre-recorded video or just that you watched it, you shared it. I would love if you guys would share my YouTube channel with other stamping friends that you might know that would like it, because I'd love to share with more people. So this is the bundle that I am using today. This is called the All Squared Away, and this is a hidden gem in our annual catalog. I'm going to grab an annual catalog real quick. Bear with me. Those of you that watch me, you know that I normally forget to go and grab things that I need, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the All Squared Away bundle, talk to you about the cost of it and all that good stuff as well. Now, I can tell you that the dies are on back order right now, but they are going to be shipping in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, but they are on back order, but still available. So it isn't something like you won't be able to get. You just wouldn't be able to get your dies right away. But let me tell you the price of this amazing bundle. So this bundle is in our catalog, in our annual catalog. And I wish I would have had this page already done, but here we go. Okay. It is for $45, you get the stamp set and the coordinating dies. So I'm going to share with you tonight how you can incorporate the stamp set into a cards. I'm going to also share with you how you can just use the dies, and I'm going to give you lots of different ways that you can use this. So I hope that you are able to take advantage of this awesome promotion. Now, anybody who puts in a minimum $35 order with me, again, now through Sunday, you will receive I'll show you which 3 of the cards you'll be receiving, or 3 projects, free as a thank you gift. And then I'm also going to show you a class that I currently have open. Registration is open right now for you to take advantage of the class that I have open using this awesome bundle, okay? So you get, in the stamp set, you get 4 of these like background images. You get some little greetings, and then you get these coordinating dies that kind of can layer right on top of these different stamped images. And I did make a card doing that, just the exact same thing. So you can mix and match them. And then the neat thing is you have these little flower dies that you can then put on top of the ones to kind of maybe make your colors of your flowers differently, that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to create with this awesome bundle. Okay. So the first card that I'm going to share with you, bear with me here as I find all of them. The first card that I'm going to share with you is this card right here. Isn't this one pretty? So pretty. Now, you will need to use some of the Tombow liquid glue when assembling your cards, because I found it worked really easy to assemble the squares onto my projects. I'm just going to move that down here out of the way a little bit so that we can work together, and I can show you how easy it is to make a card that looks just absolutely gorgeous and stunning. So I started with a piece of the Whisper White cardstock. This is my card base, and this is just going to be folded in half. So this is the 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to set this to the side, because now what we're going to do is we're going to be working with our basic black piece. Now this basic black is 5.25 by 4, and I ran it through with the brick embossing folder. Okay, and then what I did in advance is I cut 3 of those little squares that I showed you, the little dies. And you can pick any 3 that you want, but I chose the 3 that had the bigger flowers, okay? Now, we also have one that has the smaller flowers. I'll bring that in here in just a second and show you. This is the one that has the smaller flowers, but I wanted to use the bigger ones to get some really good bright flowers on that card. Can you see that? And then I used some of the bright colors of the different colors of cardstock to do that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, you're just gonna need 3 of these and then your liquid glue. And I started by putting on the 2 on the left first, and then I kind of centered the one on the right in the middle of that. So I am going to add some liquid glue. Let me make sure my glue is going to come out here. Let me make sure. There we go. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of my Tombow liquid glue along the top of here. So some of you may be wondering where I'm at tonight and why you're watching a video pre-recorded. So we took my mom. I live in Michigan, for any of you, most of you know that, but some of you that maybe follow me from out of state or different countries. I live in Michigan in the U.S. and we are heading up north about, I would say, 4 hours away, and going up to what's called our Sioux Locks. So it's a little town called Sault Ste. Marie, and it's where our freighters come in. It's like a channel that they come in to be able to, and I'm mixing them up a little bit so you guys can see that. So I'm just going to kind of go with it, putting flowers in different spots. But it's where our freighters come in on the Great Lakes for shipping, and they go through this, the Sioux Locks, to be able to, there's a difference in our 2 lakes up there. I think it's Lake Superior, Lake Huron. I could be right or wrong. I'll have to look those up. But of like 20 some feet. And so they go through this channel to be able to be raised up or lowered to go into the opposite or the different lake, so that they're not, the water levels, it's a way for them to get through. It's kind of cool. So I'm sure I'll be posting some pictures about it and letting you guys know all about it later. But my mom used to go up there a lot with my dad. My dad loved watching those freighters come through, and she hasn't been up there in years. So we're taking a mini little couple-day vacation and heading up there and gonna do some other fun things. So I'm looking forward to that, actually. So that's where we will be. Just so that you guys kind of know why I'm not live with you. And I had to take advantage of getting one last little vacation in, because next week Natalie will be at her dance camp, and then the following week I think we have 2 or 3 days where we're all together, and then Claire goes to her cello camp, which is a 12-day camp. And then after she comes home, we literally have 1 week before my kids start school. So I was like, if we want to do these trips, it has to happen sooner than later. So anyway, that is why I'm not live with you. And I apologize, but I know you also all understand. And then you got to figure out which way these line up, because they do line up perfectly. I got to find which one is the biggest. There we go. So you do want to line them up perfectly. But do you see how simple that is to do? This one's the easiest because you don't have to worry about lining it up perfectly. But again, so simple. And I found that using just a little bit of this glue goes a long way. So I'm just going to add these to the top up here. Now the colors of cardstock that I used for the green, I used Granny Apple Green, and then I used crushed curry, or maybe it was bumblebee. It may have been bumblebee. I'm not sure. No, I think this is crushed curry. I used melon mambo, and then I used the Pacific Point, and I thought that those bright colors just made this card like pop right up, and I just loved that look. So I'm just going to put that one on there. And then the last one I'm going to put on here is my my Pacific Point one. So again, I'm just going to add in my little glue here. Again, you guys are getting a little idea of how awesome it is to create with this. I had so much fun. Again, you want to get it to line up. That's probably the hardest part of it all. Let's see, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, what I would do if I was making these in like a lot at once is I would kind of mark which petal needs to go down first. So, of course, you know, when I'm doing a video, it's going to give me grief, but we're just going to go with it that way. I think I'm close. Oh, I am close. Good enough. It would line up a little bit better, but you just got to kind of play with it. So you guys get the gist of it. So from there, what I did is I used some of our, I also did the happiest of birthdays to you. And that I used a layering circle. I stamped with basic black, and I used a layering circle. and that's going to go down with a couple of dimensionals. And then I used our black matte dots to be able to make sure my video was working. Like, yeah, it better be working because I won't have time to do a replay of this. So I'm doing this on a Tuesday afternoon before we head in for Natalie's senior pictures at 4 o'clock. So I'm like, I only have one shot to get this done for you all. And then I used the black matte dots, and I put those on the card. And I don't think I brought those here to do that with. They're over somewhere else. But again, you can see how easy. I just added one to the two centers, and then I added them to all these little parts of this like little tulipy looking flower, just to give it a little bit of depth. And then from there, I'm going to add this down to my card base. And that's it. Quick, simple, easy peasy card using this all squared away. Now this card showcased for you how to use them without any kind of stamping. Okay, so this one showcases just how to use them with the dies themselves. Okay, I did use the stamp set. I used the Happiest of Birthdays to You from it. But again, you wouldn't need the stamp set if you were only interested in the dies. You could incorporate something else down here if you really wanted to. So that is card number 1, mainly focusing in on the dies and a way for you to be able to create a really fun card with that. Okay, all right, so that is card number 1. My next card that I'm going to showcase for you actually does involve some stamping. Okay, so this is the card that I created to share with you that involves the stamping and stuff. And for this one, I chose to use Whisper White again as my card base. So I have a layer of the Whisper White card base here, and then a layer of white on top of it. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have my Whisper White layer. This is 5.25 by 4, and I put that on top. Now you're probably thinking, okay, why would you have done it that way and not just laid your pieces directly on? You can see by looking at my sample, I'm going to bring it in close here, you can still see that little bit of definition and detail behind that, and I just think it really makes the card come to life. Okay, so now we're going to incorporate a little bit of stamping on that. Okay, so to stamp these pieces, let me get my card out of the way. First what I did is I measured what these squares are. These squares are about 2 by 2, okay? So you can do a couple different things if you'd like. Let me pull in my trimmer. You can cut them into a 2 by 2 piece, or you could just cut a 2 by 2 strip. I found it was easier for me to cut a 2 by 2. Oops, let me make sure I got this. There we go. I found that it was easier for me to cut a 2 by 2 piece. Now, the other thing that you can do, let me bring in my sample again. I left a little bit of white around the edges of these, okay? So they're all 2 by 2. You could also trim it down as close as you wanted to around those stamped images. I wanted to keep it really simple for you all, so I am just going to be cutting these into 2 by 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, basic white cardstock. How's that? And we're going to do some stamping on them, okay? So I'm going to move my trimmer out of the way. And then I used Coastal Cabana. Now you could do this card with so many different colors. You wouldn't have to use Coastal Cabana. I just chose to use Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to stamp one of all the different patterns onto my little 2 by 2. I'm going to try to get that in the center the best I can, and I'm going to stamp it down. Well, that one went high. I'm going to do it over. So my struggle here, it's hard to stamp and get things centered when you're sitting down because I have that up higher for you guys all to be able to see, which makes it a little bit harder for us to be able to stamp. But there you go, okay? So there's one, and I'm going to stamp all of these because I want to show you all of the different patterns and how fun they are to do. So I just changed out my block. And we're going to try to do the next one. So there's 2. Isn't that pretty? So again, mine on my sample for you today, or tonight, I'm doing this during the day so it doesn't feel like night, may be a little off, but you'll get the gist of it. So again, the other thing you could do is just do this in a strip of paper and use your scissors. There's 3. And last but not least, the final one. Let me stamp and ink that up. If you're hearing that squeak, it's me going back and forth between sitting and standing because I had to stand to be able to see that better. Okay, so here are your 4 different stamped parts to that. Okay, so you can see how pretty those are. And then we are just gonna layer them onto my card layer here. So all I did was added some dimensionals to the backs of these. So there's my bad one, right? And I'm just gonna put a couple on here for the sake of my video. I would normally probably do one in all 4 of the corners because the square is big enough, but it'll work the same way doing it this way. So I'm just going to add down my squares. And again, I'm gonna kind of add them, I don't know, we'll start down here at the bottom. Maybe I'll follow my actual pattern this time and do them the right way. What do you think of that? Again, you can mix and match these any way that you would like. So you don't have to do them this way. But I'm just going to, for the purpose of tonight. And let me see here. They fit perfectly on there because remember this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. So that's kind of why I did it that way. And they may overlap just a smudge, and that's okay. So after I had all 4 of my squares down on this, I realized that I kind of didn't really care for the whole center having not anything in it down the middle. So that's why I incorporated some of that Whisper white ribbon, and I just put it down the middle here to kind of cover that up, and I really liked how that looked. So I'm just gonna take some ribbon, and I'm gonna cut it here. And I am going to add a couple of glue dots to it. So I might be off camera adding glue dots, but I'm just adding a glue dot to the end of each ribbon for the sake of not having too much stuff in the camera. And get the ribbon out of the way. I'm just gonna wrap this right around where those ends meet here. Just gonna wrap it around. Okay. And now we're gonna go ahead and secure this down to our card base. And because it's an embossed piece, I find it much easier to add adhesive to the card base and not to the layer. So I've kind of gotten good at knowing where to put that. And then we're gonna cut a little piece to put underneath or run through like I do with my little knots that I do, okay? So I'm gonna put this underneath here, and then I'm just going to tie this around like this, and it's gonna come through like that. And then I am just going to cut these at an angle. All right, and then the final thing that I did is I cut some of these pieces. I already had my little squares cut. Oh well. I cut some of these pieces out using just the Whisper White. So I'm gonna put one on top of here. And again, you can see it covers up the little stamp area perfectly. So using my liquid glue again, we are just going to add some liquid glue to this. Here we go. And I am going to add it down up here. Now again, you could add this wherever you wanted to, but we're gonna add it right here. And I'm just going to secure it down. Look at that, using your stamp pads for that. Doesn't that work great? And then I just cut out some other little pieces of the little flowers to add wherever I kind of wanted to. So I cut out a white one of this, and I'm just gonna add it down here. And then I cut out, oh, I didn't cut out a bit. Oh, here they are, right in front of me. Like, did I not cut out another one? So I added one of these big ones just to fill in a little bit of the white space up to the top here. And then these are the real little ones that I have. And let me get my paper piercer to cut that little thing out. So for this one, I found it, again, easier to just add a little dot of glue where I wanted to put them. So add a couple little dots of glue. And then I can just take my flower and put it where I want. And the glue is already there waiting for me. So it's not quite as messy because, you know, the glue does like to stick to your fingers. And my last little flower here has the center in it as well. So that's gonna go right there. And then I topped off the card. Oh, I added my greeting. Again, it's from the same stamp set, the All Squared Away. I used You Are So Worth Celebrating. So this would be a great birthday card. It could be a retirement card. It could be whatever you want it for a card. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the ends of it. This little strip is just a 1/2 inch piece. And then I stamped it with the same ink. And so it's with the You Are So Worth Celebrating, and it's stamped with the Coastal Cabana. And then I topped off my card with some of the rhinestone, the jewel rhinestones, okay? You can see how awesome that made that card just pop. So I hope that you guys liked that card as well. So this one more or less showcases on the stamp set and how you can still add layers to it. Now I want you to think about this card because I mean I know I did it in white with just one color, but you could incorporate so many different colors. You could make yours navy and yellow. You could make yours pink and purple. There are so many different colors you could do this with, and I bet you it would look completely stunning and gorgeous. Okay, so my last project that I'm going to share with you today is a cute little note box or note card box that I made. And for this one, I used some of this mesh that carried over from our last catalog, and I love it. And I tied that around the cute little box. This is one of our little boxes that are acetate boxes that we sell. So these make great little gifts. And then I designed 4 little note cards using this. It worked out perfectly. And when you cut the cardstock, it worked out perfectly for this to be able to make these kind of cards. And that was the first thing I thought of when I saw the little squares, because a lot of you know I like to do note cards and things. Let me push this down a little. So what I did is I started with a piece of the 3x6 Whisper White cardstock. So I took a piece of 12x12 and I cut it at 6, and then I cut them into 3x6. I did score it before I cut, so that way you don't have to worry about that. But these are 3x6, and then they're scored at 3. Okay, and then what I did is I have a piece of the, let me find my supplies here for this one. I have a piece of the cardstocks, and this I just went to my scrap bin, picked 4 colors that I thought were kind of pretty. So this is the one where I think I may have chose the crushed curry. So the other one was probably Blushing Bride. I chose Night of Navy, Bermuda Bay, Flirty Flamingo, and Crushed Curry. And these pieces are cut 2.5 by 2.5. So they're going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to give you a little bit more of a white showing on the outer edge, and then a little bit more of the blue showing. And then I just literally cut out all of the different designs from the 4 different squares that are available and glued those on with my liquid glue, okay? And then what I did is I decorated the cute little envelopes with the coordinating circle flower to go with it, so that they're gonna kind of coordinate. And I didn't even bother putting greetings on these, because sometimes you wanna just give somebody a little gift and you wanna give them a little card to go with it, and you could just write in here a little note, you know, happy birthday, hope you like your gift, or thank you so much for all you did for me, I appreciate it. So these cards are just perfect for those little things that you might need. Each one of them has the coordinating flower in the same color on the very top. And I just thought that was a really nice little touch to add to these note cards. So I'm not going to actually take the time to go through and make them all, because I think you guys kind of see how simple those are. Again, your card is 3x6. And then your color of your card stock for the base here. And again, if you wanted to add another piece behind here, you could at 2.5 or 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. But I chose to just do it 2.5 by 2.5. So you have the same amount of color showing. Then I just added the little square, the square die onto it with the Whisper White or basic white cardstock. Quick and simple and easy. And again, you could do these all in the same color. You could do these in different colors if you wanted to, like I did. Again, I just went to my scrap bin and pulled some out. So there wasn't any rhyme or reason into why I chose the colors that I chose for this. And then, like I said, they fit nicely into our acetate boxes. I think you get like either 8 or 10 of these for, I'm not even sure if it's $7 or something. But you get them, they're so awesome. They also fit like little candy bars, and they fit little cookies and all kinds of different things. But I like to use them simply for our awesome little note cards. And then I added this ribbon around it and called it a gift. How cute is that? Okay, so again, another neat little way that you can use the, that die set, and that, again, there's no stamping on this, to be able to make some cue cards. So my 3 featured projects that I shared with you tonight are these right here. These are the 3 projects that you will get to anybody that puts in a minimum $35 order. You will receive this card, the little note box card, and this card right here. Now they will already be completed projects, so you'll already be able to use them. You'll be able to send these in the mail right away. You'll be able to get that sent out to somebody special for simply by putting in a $35 order with me through Sunday night. I think Sunday night is July 25th. My brother's birthday. So, you know, again, there will be a host code and an order link in the description of this video. I'll also have it posted on Facebook so that you'll have it there as well. If you are watching my YouTube video beyond my normal 2 or 3 days that I'm doing my ordering promotion, please look for me. Join my Facebook group. If you search for Kim Vogel's Basement Bunch Stampers, you will find me. You can join me there live every Thursday night for a Facebook Live that I do called Touch Base Thursday, where I showcase a different projects and different bundles every week. And I usually always have some kind of an ordering promotion in conjunction with that Facebook Live. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to share with you is my class that is currently open for this bundle. Okay, so again, those of you that are in my Facebook group, you may have seen this posted, but I have a class right now that is open for registration. The class includes all of the supplies that you would need to make 16 cards. You would make 4 of each color, so it's kind of like a Stamp-A-Stat class, and I'm focusing in on the new in colors for this. So in the class, you would get a whole bolt of ribbon. You would get the loose flowers. You get a whole pack of paper. Now, I do use your paper to cut all of your pieces, but I would have those cut for you. I would also have all of the dies cut for you. The only thing that would not be done for you would be any of the stamping. There is an option for you to add on the stamp set or to add on the whole bundle if you would like. Again, you will receive everything that you need to do this except for the stamping. You will need to do that on your own. You will receive the pieces though for you to go ahead and stamp those. So I definitely suggest and encourage you to add on the stamp set. They'll be cut the perfect size for you to be able to stamp them. And if you really, really like this bundle, I would encourage you to buy the add-on dies to it as well, and then you'll have some samples of different cards that you can make using this great bundle. I believe the cost of the class is $50. It might be $55. I'm not sure. I'm really sorry. I think it's $50. But you get tons of product and tons of 16 cards. So I hope that you would consider purchasing that class. Registration is only open, I think, for another week or so. So anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed my presentation for you tonight in place of my live. I know live is always better, but this way you still got to get inspired and see some awesome projects that I created for you. And I hope that you consider adding this bundle to your wish list. And I will be back with all of you next Thursday, July 29th. Also, make sure you comment on my video, not on the Facebook post, but on my video on YouTube to be entered into a drawing for some special prizes that I will be giving away next week on my Facebook Live. Bye, everyone, and I will see you soon.